Hello and welcome back to another sketchbook session video where I'm also going to be talking about motivation when we feel like we're not making any progress with our art. Particularly when we're in the phase of learning and most of our time is spent practicing fundamentals, figuring out proportions or color, and just getting art mileage in general. It is an essential stage of growth, but it can also be very frustrating when it feels like all of our hours are sucked into practice, and you start to lose sight of your purpose because you're just focused on doing the same thing again and again to get better, which is unfortunately essential for learning. This is going to be another long video, so if you have something to work on, I would love for you to also get out your sketchbook and draw or paint with me. I did not have any specific purpose going into the sketchbook session, except that I wanted to continue experimenting with different styles in gouache. I thought I'd start off by sketching and painting some random but related things, and of course, my default subject of choice is food related. I think random sketchbook sessions like this are a great way to let go and discover things that I wouldn't have discovered if I didn't give myself the space to fail and paint without expectations. I mean, we all know the great things about keeping a sketchbook, but if I'm being honest, spending hours in my sketchbook practicing without producing finished pieces of art can also make me feel unproductive, especially if it wasn't a good session and it didn't feel like I got anything out of it. Even though I know logically that I'm learning new things every time, painting for the sake of experimentation and exploration can still oftentimes make me feel more stagnant than ever. Growth is not always visible, so sometimes it's just hard not to feel like you wasted time after a long, unfruitful sketchbook session. Putting in a lot of effort and getting nothing in return is basically a recipe for mental exhaustion. I don't think that's really news because it makes a lot of sense. When it feels like all of your hard work is going down a drain and your results don't reflect the effort that you put in, we can feel a little hopeless. And to shake that feeling of hopelessness or uselessness because you have nothing to show for your effort is not as easy as just shifting your mindset or having a positive attitude about perseverance. Or maybe it is for some people, but it definitely is not for me. There's no arguing that practice is necessary, even if it is time-consuming and invisible to everyone around us. I struggle with this feeling a lot, the feeling that I'm falling behind and I'll never be able to catch up because I'm not producing new work as quickly as everyone else seems to be. But maybe there is a solution to all this. I read Show Your Work by Austin Kleon about a year ago, and I recently reread it because I went on a social media hiatus and really needed to hear his points again to motivate me to get back on it. I was not expecting, though, for it to click differently for me this time. I loved it the first time I read it, but this time I made connections to my situation right now that I didn't make before, mainly because I was in a different phase with my art the first time I read it, if that makes sense. The main idea I got this time is that we are lucky to be living in a day and age where art is not only about the final product anymore, and that means that we don't have to be the best artist in the room. We're allowed to be amateurs. And it's okay if we're not pumping out finished paintings all the time. We just have to turn the invisible into something that other people can see. The key is process, not product. All the work that was invisible before, the ice beneath the surface of the iceberg, is not wasted time or effort if we can share it. If we share our process in a newsletter, video, blog, or social media, it's still something finished, just in another form. I know that the author means to convince us that sharing your process is a chance to connect with your people, and everything you share is an opportunity for your art to get noticed, which is all very true and I can't agree more. But personally, I also think that sharing your work gives you something to show for your effort. which is key to giving us the momentum to keep going. Every time I look through my Instagram stories archive and flip through all the moments in time when I'm in the process, I feel a little better about my progress because I know that if I hadn't shared those moments, they would have been lost forever, or underwater if we're still going with the iceberg analogy. There's still this whole thing around self-doubt and fear of judgment, etc., when it comes to sharing. I'm naturally a very private person, so talking about myself or sharing things in my life is not usually easy for me. It takes a conscious effort and a little pep talk to convince myself that sharing is ultimately worth it. The way I think about it, or the pep talk that I give myself, is that the more stuff I put out there, the more each individual thing is kind of diluted. I might hate sharing my sketchbook if I'm not proud of it, and I might be scared of saying something wrong and accidentally offending people, but if I show enough work and say enough stuff, every sketch I show and everything I say matters a little less. Because it is not all of who I am. It is a tiny piece of everything that I've put out in the world. Not everything I share has to be profound. I don't have to wait until I have it all figured out and I have something huge to share before I'm allowed to share it. Like these little insignificant vegetables I'm painting. And that goes for everyone. If you're also in a phase of learning and exploration like me, let this be your permission to share your progress no matter how far along you are, and embrace being an amateur. And if you're not up for sharing publicly, you can also always keep a private blog or private Instagram account. Your future self will probably thank you for documenting your journey so you can see how far you've come. So I don't know if all of that came out the way I have it in my head. I hope it all makes sense, and I hope that I can also personally practice what I'm preaching. Please let me know if any of this resonates with you so I know I wasn't spewing nonsense for 10 minutes. And thank you so much for listening.